All right, so I thought I'd make a little video about trying to do some isometrics for the quads in the leg. So there's four main quads that are in your leg. You have a rectus femoris, and that's actually the only quad that crosses the hip joint. So that quad can also act as a hip flexor in addition to a knee extender. So after the rectus femoris, you have your vastus intermedius, and so that's right on the front part of your thigh. And that one, again, these other three quads do not cross the hip joint. So the rest of these are just from basically the femur on down past the knee. So you have your vastus intermedius as number 2. Your third one is your vastus lateralis. So that's just more, again, on the lateral side of your leg. And then you have the fourth one, which is your vastus medialis on the inside of the leg. So these four isometrics that I'm going to cover are trying to basically get those exercises or get those muscles activated, which help with kind of the knee extension. That just means that from a bent position, these muscles help straighten your knee. So it's imperative for things like, walking up and down stairs. Really on the walking down part, it's really important. But also things like lunges, squats, step ups. Those are really, really important muscles. Some other things that the quads can do is that they can actually help or assist your hip flexors. So if you notice that you're having difficulty like trying to reach forward and touch your toes, or you have really bad hamstring tightness, activating your quads can actually loosen up some of those tight hamstrings or even some of those tight lower back muscles. So it's kind of an interesting effect. The other thing it can do is it can actually help and assist with some foot issues. So if you notice like you're having difficulty pulling your foot up toward your knee, sometimes activating the quads can activate the chain down towards even some of these foot muscles. So again, these are 4 different isometrics that you can do for your quads. If you feel like you're having some instability around the knee joint, again, you have to get not just these front quads that are on the front of your thigh, you have to get the lateral quad, which is on the outside edge of your thigh, and the medial quad on the inside edge of your thigh. So again, there's 4 main muscles that we're gonna go over here, and I'll try to show you. For this, you do need something about this size. This is just a little yoga brick, but this one is what I use for one of the exercises, but really this could be something like a Nalgene water bottle. So something that's about this tall is the only prop that you'll need. In other cases, I just use something that's firm that you can press against. So in some cases, a hard basketball will work, or like a volleyball or even a football, but something that you're gonna use to kind of create resistance. So one thing that we're gonna chat about real quick is for all of these isometrics, you're really trying to press and create, a firm isometric. So you need something firm to press against. In some of these cases, we're using the ground, and we're using the friction between your foot and the surface to create that force, okay? So again, a real quick example of an isometric. This would be an isometric for my bicep. I'm gonna brace my hand with the opposite hand, and I'm trying to pull my arm into the other hand. So when I do that, I'm flexing this bicep muscle, and I'm just creating tension in that muscle. So again, when we're doing these isometrics, it's pretty light intensity. You're not trying to do like a regular weightlifting contraction. You're not trying to fatigue that muscle like you do when you're doing some of the other, standard weightlifting. All we're trying to do is turn the lights on to that muscle so you have it available for when you do walk up or down the stairs, you take a lunge, you take a kind of a random off step, when you're out of balance and stuff like that. So again, these exercises are just designed to try to turn that muscle on so that you have it available for your workouts, for when you're going on a walk or a hike or biking, things like that. So just remember that the sets that we're doing, we're gonna hold each contraction for a total of 6 seconds, and then you're gonna repeat it for a total of 6 sets in a row. So here's the exercises. So number 1, I'm gonna use the table here just as kind of a demonstration area, but for this one, it's just called the figure 4. And this one's actually for this inner thigh muscle here, your vastus medialis. So you cross your leg kind of like this, just like you're reading the newspaper. And then from here, you're gonna put this yoga brick underneath the outside edge of your knee. Now in this position, what you're gonna do is you're gonna try to push this knee downward into the top of that block. And as I do that, I should feel a little something kind of like under my glute area contracting. But in order to really get the quad, you also need to try to push this foot forward, okay? Because these quads, again, they help straighten the knee. So what I'm gonna try to do is I kind of hook my foot right above my kneecap, and I use the friction of my heel against my leg to kind of create a little bit of a forward contraction. So I have 2 different forces. I have one pushing down into the block and a second one kind of pushing this foot forward. So again, what I'm doing is I'm pushing my knee down and I'm trying to gently slide my foot forward, and I can start to feel this right here on this quad muscle that wraps around towards the front of the knee. That's your vastus medialis. There are 3 divisions of this one muscle. So position number 1 is right here with my right ankle above my left knee. Position number 2 is kind of right above where my calf muscle is on the opposing leg. So I just slid my ankle down just a little bit, and again, I'm pushing my knee down into the block as I'm trying to gently flex and push my heel forward. So that's position number 2. Position number 3 is where my ankles are almost crossed. So again, my leg is just a little more straight. And now I have to turn my block on its side like this. So it's underneath that knee. And again, I'm just trying to fold the knee down as I straighten my leg forward. Okay? So those are the 3 positions to try to get this vastus medialis muscle. You have an upper division, you have a mid division, and then you have this lower division. Okay? The lower divisions are when your leg is more straight. The upper divisions are when your leg is more bent, okay? So for the next one, we're gonna do a similar thing, but now we're gonna try and work on this vastus lateralis. So it's almost the exact same thing that we're doing for the medialis, just in reverse, okay? So this one we're kind of trying to twist this way and extend the leg. Now we're gonna try and twist the hip outward and extend the leg. So we don't need the block for this one. We're gonna use my heel against the surface of the table, and we're gonna use that friction as resistance. Okay, so the first one is, I'm gonna bring my foot up. So again, my right foot is even with my left knee. And then from here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to twist my lower leg that way. And I'm not just trying to move my foot, because you can cheat by using your foot. You're trying to twist the entire hip outward, and then I'm trying to gently kick my foot forward. So I have 2 different isometrics here. I'm pushing it outward, and then I'm also trying to give myself a little bit of an extension forward. So when I do that, I can feel kind of this upper lateral thigh area contracting. So again, I'm trying to hold this outward pressure as I gently push my foot forward. And I can feel that outside upper lateral quad. So 6 sets of 6 right there. That's that upper division. Okay, for the mid division, I just go down a little further. Okay, and again, I'm trying to kick it out and extend forward. Okay, so 6 sets of 6 there for that middle division. And then to get that lower division right here, I'm trying to go a little further forward, and again, pushing the ankle or the foot outward and trying to gently kick forward. Okay, so those are the 3 for that vastus lateralis. And again, with the leg more bent, that's that upper division. With it in the middle position, that's that middle division. And with my leg fairly straight, it's that lower division. Okay, so those were the 2 that you need to do when you're lying down. You have the vastus lateralis kicking out, you have the medialis kicking in. Okay, so the next 2, we're going to work next on that long rectus femoris. This muscle goes from right about here on your hip all the way down the front of your thigh. And again, the common tendon attachment goes just below your kneecap. So for this one, we're just going to use the resistance of me pushing my foot against this door, against this wall. So for this one, I'll kind of show you a front view first. But I'm just going to bring my foot forward about 30 degrees, and I'm just going to try to push it into the wall. So when I do that, I'm trying to feel a muscle here, kind of right on the front area of my leg. But you can feel some up into your hip, that's okay. So for this one, I'm standing right in front of the wall. I'm just taking my right leg, and I'm putting it right up against the wall. So again, my leg is about 30 degrees in front of the other one. And I'm just pushing it straight ahead into the wall. And when I do that, I kind of feel all of these quad muscles and a little bit up here to my hip as I push it forward. So again, I'm standing here, I bring my right foot forward, and I'm just trying to push straight ahead, engaging that quad muscle, okay? So that's exercise number 3. That's for that long rectus femoris muscle. It's the only quad that crosses the hip joint. So in addition to trying to straighten the leg, it can also lift the leg up, okay? And then the last one that we're going to do is for that vastus intermedius. That's this big kind of wide muscle that's right here, and it basically kind of is on each side of that rec fem that goes right down the middle, okay? So again, you should still feel this kind of right here on the front part of your thigh. And for this one, all you're going to do is you're going to bend your knee up to about a 90-degree angle, and then you're just trying to kick straight ahead, okay? So my action, here's a front view, is I'm up like this, and I'm trying to swing my leg forward like this. So almost like those machines that are at the gym where you do that leg extension. That's kind of the same action that we're trying to do, okay? But it's a slightly different position. So again, I bring my knee up to about 90 degrees, and I'm trying to kick that toe forward into the wall. okay? So when I do that, again, I'm trying to feel these muscles right here, kind of on that front part of the thigh. So again, for all of those exercises, I'm just trying to hold each one for 6 seconds, and then I repeat it for 6 sets. But hopefully those will help kind of give you a little bit more knee stability. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it could even help you with a forward bending hip flexion. So if you notice, again, you have really, really tight hamstrings, maybe you have some ankle or calf issues, try these 4 isometrics and also compare them to the opposite side. Take a look and see, how does your left knee feel? How does your left hip? How does that left foot feel compared to the right after you do one side? So if you feel like, oh my gosh, this right side feels better, it feels more open, better ranges of motion, maybe you should do the same exercise on the opposite leg to try to equalize that. Okay, again, so all those 6 sets, holding each set for 6 seconds each.